Okay, hello everybody. Today I will show you the OSI model and its components. Here we go. So what's the OSI model? So the OSI model is just a visual map that allows us to check how the data is transferred between devices within the infrastructure. It's a logical map. It's not something that you have to strictly follow, but it will help us to identify IT issues. And there are different layers. There are 7 layers. There's the physical layer, data layer, networking layer, transport, session, presentation, and application. So here we go. The physical data. The physical data is what stands for is the hardware, the network interfaces, cables, fiber optics. These devices allow us to translate electricity to different signals, binary bits, and something that we can touch. Next, we have the data layer, and here's where different nodes or components communicate to each other within the same local area. For example, a PC with a PC, a computer with a phone. Here's where the switch lives, and MAC addresses are very important. We can use VLANs to separate the different hosts, different computers, from communicating to each other. And the name of the packet, the name of the data is called frame in this layer. At the bottom we have a switch, and here at the right we have a local area network, a very small one. The next one is the networking layer. Here's where many different local area networks can communicate to each other at a global scale. There are many different nodes, many different computers, and the routers are in charge of the communication between each other. And how they communicate is with IP addresses, and subnetting is very important. Here's where packets live, and the protocol for external communication is BGP. At the bottom we have a router, and on the right we have a networking layer. So yes, you get the idea. Next we have the transport layer. The transporting layer is the connection between both hosts, endpoints, computers, which allow us to move the information in between. If the data is too big, we will have to break it apart into different chunks, and those chunks are called segments. And the maximum MTU is 1500 bytes. On the transport layer there are 2 different type of connections. There's the TCP, which relies on a 3-way handshake, and the 3-way handshake allows us to establish reliability and flow control if the data goes missing. For example, you want to see a movie, you want to see the whole movie. You don't want to see different parts and then all mixed up together. You want to see the whole movie in the specific time, clearly. Here SSH, FTP, and BGP lives. On the other hand, we have UDP, and UDP is used for broadcasting, something that is not important. For example, if you're in a call and you miss one word, it won't be that much of an issue if you get the context of it. Here's where VoIP, broadcasting, DNS, and networking management lives. After that we have the session. The session is within the endpoints, and they allow us to say, okay, we're good to go or no. And they are responsible for establishing and maintaining the end communication between the applications and the hosts. Here's where both computers synchronize to each other and authenticate, okay, are we ready? Are we allowed to go? And here's where duplex and speeds are very important. After we transfer the data, we are in the presentation stage. Here's where we have a chunk of data and we have to translate it to human readable data. So this is the presentation layer. Here's where encryption and decryption takes place, data compression, and it gets ready for the user to see it. To the application, which is what the user sees, and here's where protocols are consumed. For example, email, website, file transfers, texting, video chat, you name it. World Wide Web, what the user sees. Here, I will show you that OSI model is very similar to the TCP/IP layers. It's just the same thing, but the OSI model has more layers and allows us to find issues if you're a good, savvy IT guy, and they are pretty much the same for the most part. And what networking engineers care about are the bottom ones, the physical data network and transport. The rest, the top layers, are the same. That's it. Thank you.